Hello students, we are studying chapter number 6, that is molecular basis of inheritance of class 12, and we have completed some portion. Today we will understand about the genetic code. Okay, so before we start the genetic code, we need to recall the central dogma technique. What we have seen in that central dogma technique is the DNA, or we can say the double-stranded DNA, is able to generate the double-stranded DNA again. That is called the replication, and from the DNA a RNA will get synthesized, and that is called the transcription. Now when this DNA, this double-stranded DNA will form RNA, there are certain different types of RNAs. We can say mRNA, rRNA, tRNA. So from the DNA, this is DNA and this is RNA. Okay, so from this DNA, RNA will be synthesized. From this DNA also gets synthesized. Okay, in both the processes, the new strand will get synthesized, which follow the complementary base pair rule. Okay, so over here, as we know, they are A, T, G, C, and in RNA they will be A, U, G, C nitrogen base pairs, that we know. Now, how does this new strand will get synthesized? The nitrogen bases which were there, they will follow the complementary base pair rules and produce the new strand, and those newly synthesized forms are termed as RNAs. Over here, mRNA, rRNA, tRNA, several different types of RNA will get synthesized, and they have their particular role. They will play a particular role to produce the protein. Okay, now we are not taking consideration of other RNA over here, so we will only take the example is mRNA. Suppose this is a mRNA. Now those complementary base pairs will form over here also. Now whatever the information was present on the DNA, that was transcribed in the mRNA as well. So this is quite easy to understand दिस प्रोसेस. यहाँ तक ये प्रोसेस समझने के लिए इजी है, क्योंकि यहाँ पे सेम थिंग है. यहाँ पे नाइट्रोजन बेस पेयर है. दोज नाइट्रोजन बेस पेयर्स विल ट्रांसफर और ट्रांसक्राइब, वी कैन से, के ऑन द mRNA. Now when mRNA will produce the proteins, we can say that during the translation process, what will happen? This coded language will synthesize the amino acids, or we can say the proteins. Okay, so from the mRNA, protein will get synthesized, and this protein doesn't have those kind of base pairs, nitrogenous base pair. It is completely a new structure which gets synthesized by the mRNA. Now the question is, how does this information get converted and read by the cell and can produce the amino acid, or we can say the protein? There must be something that convert or read the messages or codes in and generate the copies of amino acids, or we can say the proteins, right? Now take an example. If you go in the mall, what you get, that is some material or goods you buy from the malls or something, or from the shop. Now on that particular thing there will be a codes. Okay, we can say the barcode stickers are there. Now when you go for the billing, they will that packet will get exposed. That packet will expose towards the scanner, and that information which is printed on that barcode, that will be read by this scanner. Okay, and what will happen? The bill copy will get generated. Now what happened over here? Whatever the copy, whatever the bill was there, that we can say it is a mRNA. Now the scanner, which we normally term in biological language, that is a tRNA. Okay, that we learn, and and the copy which is produced, the build copy, that is our amino acid. So over here the reading has been done by the scanner, that is the tRNA. Okay, now whatever the information was there, that was on the mRNA. Now what kind of information? See, in the for the shopping we go, that are the codes. Now over here those codes are present into the DNA, or we can say the genetic informations are there. So it is termed as the genetic code. Okay, those information codes for genetic informations, that is why those are called the genetic codes. Now the question is, how does this genetic information get read by the tRNA and synthesis of proteins can takes place? How? What is the mechanism? Now there are certain questions arise in the scientists. My Watson and Crick have suggested different models, and according to that model there will be a 4 nucleotide base pairs present into the mRNA. Okay, now what should be the arrangement? And that is the question for the scientists. So a group of scientists have suggested different ways. Some have suggested that those are the codes which codes for the genetic information. Now if they code, if a single nitrogenous base pair will code for a single amino acid, then there will be a production of only 4 amino acids. Okay, so if one code for will responsible for the production of 1 amino acid, then there will be a 4 nitrogenous base pair. They are able to synthesize only 4 type of amino acid. Now the second example is, if in the combination of these 2 nitrogenous base pair the information is there, suppose on the mRNA the information is there in the combination of the 2 nitrogenous base pair, then how many code will be there? There will be, suppose here I have written the example in the combination of 2, so total U combined with the C, G, A. So total 4 combinations of U, 4 combinations of C, 4 combinations of G, and 4 of A. So altogether 4 into 4, that will be having 16 codes. Okay, now this 16 codes will produce 16 types of amino acids. Okay, now this third hypothesis, these are all hypotheses. Okay, now the third hypothesis is, if those codes are present in triplets, then what will be happen, or what will be the output, or what will be the result? So total 4 combinations of U and U. So altogether if we count 4 combinations will get created, because if we take 3 in combination, so there will be 64. 4 into 4 into 4, that will be 64 combinations. That means 64 different amino acids get synthesized. Now fourth hypothesis is, if the code is made up of the 4 nitrogenous base pair, then they will be produced 4 into 4 into 4 into 4. That will be 256 codes. And there are only 20 amino acids which we found naturally in the living organisms. Okay, so if we take this hypothesis, then it will be having only 4 amino acids. So this has proved incorrect, or we can say wrong. This has produced only 16 amino acids. Now we have 4 less amino acids over, so this hypothesis is also proved wrong. Now the third one and fourth one. So if you see this amino acid 250 codes will generate 256 amino acids, that will be quite larger in amount than the number of amino acids. So this is quite closer amount which get produced by this type of combination. As you know that biology will give a certain very heavy words for particular. If they give a name as a code, then it will be okay, but they have given the name as a codon. Okay, so codons are nothing, they are the codes. So when they combine in triplets, they are now termed as the codons. Okay, so the three nitrogenous base pair, or we can say the triplet form of nitrogenous base pair, they are now codons. So George Gamow has given the hypothesis that the genetic information will be there in the triplet form. Now, this was just an hypothesis. Now, several other scientists come in the existence to prove this hypothesis, and they have worked by their own. There were three scientists, Marshall Nirenberg, Hargobind Khurana, he was an Indian scientist, and Sir Severo Oka. These all three scientists have worked by their own and tried to prove the hypothesis which is given by the George Gamow. Okay, now what they have done, Marshall Nirenberg had used only a single nitrogenous base pair, or we can say the uracilic acid he has used, and tried to synthesize a new segment, and he has synthesized a polypeptide chain of the single monomer, that is called the homopolymer. So homopolymer has been synthesized, which was a phenylalanine. Okay, this homopolymer was synthesized by the Marshall Nirenberg and by using the uracil. Now, he has observed that only when he has used a single type of the uracilic acid, nitrogen base pair or nucleotide, he was able to synthesize a single type of polypeptide chain, or we can say the homopeptide chain, that was made up of the single amino acid group, that was the phenylalanine. Okay, now after that, Hargobind Khurana, he has used the two nitrogenous group, they were uracil and guanine pairs. Now, he has repeatedly used and tried to join those subunits, those two different groups, UG, same way. Now, if the single base, this pair of this base pair is able to synthesize a single amino acid, then there will be a synthesis of the single kind of amino acids. Okay, so it should be synthesized the homopolymer again, but over here, because it has combined in three nitrogenous group form, triplet form, it has the sequence, the next sequence has changed, UGA and GUG, and UGU has synthesized the cysteine and GUG has synthesized the valine or valine. Now, two different types of amino acids were formed, and he has given the name as the copolymer. Okay, third scientist, Severo Oka, he has synthesized RNA without any template by using an artificial enzyme, that was polynucleotide phosphorylase. And by the combination of this work of these three scientists, it has been proved that whatever the genetic information is there with the mRNA, that will be in the form of the triplet manner. So whatever the hypothesis which is given by the George Gamow was proved correct, and it is proved that the genetic codes are in a triplet form. So it is termed as the triplet codons. Okay, now we move further. If we arrange this codon in a tabular form, then how will you write? You have to take all these nitrogenous groups in different column, UCGA. Okay, UCGA, because these are the two combinations, the same combination we have to take. Then at the right hand side you can write UCGA. So total altogether 16 number of the columns are there, and in each column there will be a formation of the there will be a 4 different types of the formation. So there will be total 64 combinations of the codons. Now when these codons have analyzed further, they have find some other results, that out of the total 64 number of the codons, the 61 codons codes for amino acids. That means 61 codons code for the 20 amino acids. And out of this 64, three are nonsense codons. That means they doesn't code for anything. Hence, those are called the nonsense codons. Those are also termed as a stop codon. When we learn the process of translation, you will understand what are the stop codons. So those are the three stop codons: UAA, UAG, and UGA. Combination with the start of the U. Okay, so these three codons are not coding for any amino acids. Hence, those are called the nonsense codon. And when these codons comes into the mRNA, the process of translation will get stopped. So those are called the stop codons as well. There is a codon AUG that will always code for methionine. Not only that, the translation process will start with this codon only. Whenever the translation begins, first methionine will come and join with that tRNA. Okay, so this codon has a dual function. Now when you learn or when you see the mRNA chain, there will be not any interruption in between, or we can say the punctuations. It will be, the frame will be read in this continuous manner. Okay, so hope you clear with that. Now we sum up this all information in very short form, and those are called the salient feature of the genetic code. Okay, so see, this question is very important as an exam point of view. Now, first one, total number of the codons are 64. So total number of the codons are 64. Out of that, 61 codes for the 20 amino acids, and 3 are the not coding for anything. Those are called the nonsense codons. You need to remember the codes over here. Those are the UAA, UAG, UGA. Okay. Second one, that is the codons are unambiguous and specific. Unambiguous means one code will synthesize a particular type of amino acid. If we take an example that UAA will synthesize phenylalanine. Okay, that means this will not produce any other amino acid except phenylalanine. Okay, so particular code is responsible for production of the particular amino acid. Okay, and reverse than that, codes are degenerate in nature. That means one particular amino acid can be synthesized by more than one codons. Okay. Now as you see, there are this total 61 and 61 codons. Those are producing 20 amino acids. So there are some extra codons. More than one code is responsible for the production of particular amino acid. Okay. Now fourth one, that is there are no punctuation in the codons. As we explained, the codons must be read in a continuous fashion or continuous manner. There will be no any hurdles in between. After that, codons are universal in nature. Universal means what? On the earth or on the planet, there are several different type of organisms we find. प्रोकैरियोट से लेके यूकैरियोटिक में बहुत सारे डिफरेंट टाइप्स ऑफ ऑर्गेनिज्म हमको मिलते हैं, एंड ऑल ऑर्गेनिजम्स हैव एमिनो एसिड्स इन देम. सो जो जेनेटिक कोड है पर्टिकुलर ऑर्गेनिज्म के अंदर, वो एक ही टाइप का amino acid synthesize करेंगे, whether it is present in the bacterial cell or into the human cell. As I said, this UUU codon is that is responsible for the production of phenylalanine in the human being. But if you observe the prokaryotic cells, that means the very basic type of cells, we can say the bacteria. If we see and look in the bacteria, this codon in the bacterial cell will produce the phenylalanine only. So those are the universal in nature, but there are some exceptions. What exceptions? as we know that these are the three codons, those are the stop codons. UAA and UGA are normally the stop codon, but UAA, UGA in case of the protozoans and in the mitochondrial DNA, they will produce glutamic acid. So there are certain exceptions. Okay. Now the AUG as a dual function. AUG will act as an initiator codon as well as it will be a synthesizing methionine. So wherever you see in the amino acid chain, the first amino acid will be methionine only. Hope you are clear till now. Now if we see, then this is an mRNA and these are the codons present. So nitrogenous bases are present on the mRNA. Now, as I said, these codons or codes read in the continuous manner, continuous fashion. So if one particular base pair will get removed from the whole chain, then what will happen? This message will get changed. The codon will get changed. Now this is the one codon. Now this is the second codon. If the one nitrogenous base pair is removed, then what will happen? This combination now will change. If this combination will change, then this code is responsible for the production of particular type of amino acid. This will not produce, and instead of that, this new type of amino acid will get synthesized. Now there is an interruption into the sequence of nitrogenous base pair. When this type of interruption will created into the nitrogenous sequences, base pair sequences, it is termed as the mutation. So what are basically the mutations are? Mutations are nothing but the alteration in the sequence of mRNA. Okay? Now there are two different types of mutation. One is termed as the point mutation and second one is termed as the frame shift mutation. Okay, so those are point mutation and frame shift. Frame shift mutation. Suppose this is an mRNA, right? Now these are the nitrogenous bases present on the mRNA. Now if we say a long chain, and if we say this nitrogen base pair was removed, or we can say this is the mRNA sequence and one nitrogenous base pair it has got inserted over here. So if the nitrogenous base pair will get removed, the whole sequence will get changed at the point of this new insertion or deletion. यहाँ पे delete हुआ है तो यहाँ पे जो combination बनेगा तो A निकल गया तो यहाँ से combination ये वाला आ जाएगा, और यहाँ पे अगर addition हुआ है तो यहाँ पे एक combination ये है, नया combination बन गया. तो यहाँ पे point mutation पे क्या होगा? Particular point पे अगर कोई nitrogenous base pair add होती है और अगर कोई नाइट्रोजनस बेस पेयर वहां से रिमूव होती है तो उसके बाद हमें जो सीक्वेंस है यहां से वो पूरी सीक्वेंस के कोडॉन्स चेंज हो जाएंगे. उसके कारण जो भी एमिनो एसिड सिंथेसिस होने वाला होता है दैट विल गेट अल्टर्ड एंड दिस इज कॉल्ड द पॉइंट म्यूटेशन. ओके, एक पॉइंट पे चेंज होने के कारण जो प्रॉब्लम क्रिएट होता है दैट इज कॉल्ड द पॉइंट म्यूटेशन. नाउ कंसीडर द 2 पॉइंट्स. ओके, सपोज 2 पॉइंट निकल जाते हैं, 2 नाइट्रोजनस बेस पे निकल जाती है और 2 ऐड हो जाती है, देन द केस विल बी सेम. व्हाई? बिकॉज as I said, the codons are in the triplet form. This is the triplet. Now again the new triplet will get synthesized. So at the point of the insertion or deletion of the 1 or 2 nitrogenous base pairs, the point mutation will get created, and those point mutation comes at the insertion type of point mutation and the deletion type of point mutation. Okay, now we talk about the frame shift. शिफ्टिंग का मतलब होता है आइदर इंसर्शन और द डिलीशन. सो यहाँ पे भी दोनों सेम टाइप के फ्रेम शिफ्ट इंसर्शन एंड फ्रेम शिफ्ट डिलीशन. नाउ फ्रेम किसकी बनी हुई होती है? द होल फ्रेम इज मेड अप ऑफ द 3 कोडॉन्स. 3 कॉडन्स की एक फ्रेम बनी होती है. नाउ इफ द होल फ्रेम इज इंसर्टेड, सपोज दिस इज द सीक्वेंस, यहाँ पे सपोज ये 3 है और यहाँ पे हम ऐड करते हैं 1 2 3 नाइट्रोजनस ग्रुप की पूरी फ्रेम आके यहाँ पे ऐड हो जाती है. तो क्या होगा, दिस विल क्रिएट अ म्यूटेशन एट द पर्टिकुलर लोकेशन, बट आफ्टर दिस पॉइंट the strain will be the same, the amino acid which will get synthesized will be the same. तो यहाँ पे सपोज इन्होंने आर्जिनिन सिंथेसाइज किया, यहाँ पे ग्लूटामाइन, यहाँ पे वेलाइन, हिस्टामाइन, different types of amino acids are there. और यहाँ पे additional phenylalanine synthesis हुआ, so that will be additional amino acid will produce in the whole sequence amino acid chain. Rest of the sequence will remain the same. ऐसे ही अगर डिलीशन होता है